So we got to talk about Cortez Mills and this battle that is starting to brew between Clemson and Oklahoma, a recruiting battle that we really haven't seen before. This one's going to be intriguing because we really don't have any precedents to go off of. And I know you're going to throw out Sammy Brown, who Oklahoma supposedly finished like second or third for, but in reality, did Oklahoma have a shot there? Probably not. You lost Bryant Wesco in one trip to Clemson, but we haven't seen the long drawn out battle between Dabo and BV or Garrett Riley and Emmett Jones for a wide receiver. So this is going to be intriguing to me, and I want to hear from y'all. So join the discussion, jump in the comments below, and let me know what you guys think. Who do you think is going to take the last wide receiver spot for Emmett Jones and the Oklahoma Sooners here in this 2025 class? But we got to talk about Cortez Mills today because Cortez Mills is a 6'1" and 170-pound wide receiver out of Homestead High School in Homestead, Florida. Here's the deal. Cortez Mills was talking to Cooper over at Unfair Sports about it. Kind of give you a little bit of OBJ comparisons and the way that he's able to make diving catches. And the dude just, listen, he causes DBs problems. And going to the college level, that's going to translate. Now, he did cancel an official visit to Miami, but then he's going to LSU, which we start talking about the comparisons to OBJ. You don't want those comparisons to OBJ and then him take an official visit to LSU because they can kind of play off that a little bit. But Emmett Jones is in his bag, guys. And we were kind of talking about it. Like, does Emmett Jones deserve a raise? Because he gets you back into recruitment and lands the commitment of Marcus Harris, gets you in a commitment for gets you into recruitment for Cortez Mills, who 247 has all the crystal balls in favor of Clemson. But the rivals guys are putting in feature casts in favor of Oklahoma. This is not only shaping up to be a Clemson versus Oklahoma battle, but a 247 versus rivals battle. And I am here for it because Cortez Mills, although 247 has him as the 196th prospect in the country, a guy that is composite 84 in the country, he has the potential to rise into five-star territory. He is that dynamic of an athlete. I mean, in his junior year, I want you guys to look at this. In his junior year, he had 79 receptions for only 1,640 yards. Just want you to, I want to do that again. 79 receptions, 1,640 yards, 18 receiving touchdowns. Like, again, he's a guy that causes defensive backs problems. Now, looking at Cortez Mills, though, he's been to Miami 8 times. So if you're following the unofficial visits to kind of see where is his recruitment trending, you would automatically point to Miami. But Miami doesn't have the official visit. He's been to Florida 3 times. So if you just take out the unofficial, or if you take out the officials, he's been to Miami 6 more times than any other school. But he's been to Florida. He's been in Nebraska. He's been to Clemson. He's going to LSU. He's been to Oklahoma. He was there the same week as Marcus Harris. If Emmett Jones lands Cortez Mills, he potentially has the possibility of getting 2 5-star prospects. Now, Cortez Mills, he really enjoyed his visit here at Oklahoma, got the chance to sit and watch film with Emmett Jones. This is what Emmett Jones does best. But we're going to have to watch and see what happens because a Clemson versus Oklahoma recruiting battle, you're just not going to turn that away. Now, I was looking at some of the other prospects that Oklahoma could potentially go out there and get in this cycle. And this is where I want you guys to tune in a little bit because I think there's some really good options out here. And I like Emmanuel Choice because of his frame. He got 6'4", 190 pounds. I like the tall wide receivers, and I'm assuming a lot of you guys do as well. He's been to Oklahoma twice. He's going to be here a 3rd time for his Champ U barbecue visit. Can't be any better weekend to have him on campus than this weekend. He's been to Nebraska on April. He's been to TCU on June 14th, which was last week. And then he was at USC on May 31st. So Emmanuel Choice, he's got his pick of the litter. He's out of Lancaster, Texas. This is a prospect that I think Emmett Jones and the staff really have a good chance on. Now, another prospect that I know a lot of you guys have liked because I've seen you guys talk about him before is Andrew Marsh. And Andrew Marsh in Oklahoma, like, they've been a deal. I think the thing is, I think the staff has had their own kind of like questions on, is Andrew Marsh ever going to be fully bought in? Well, you see him cancel his official visit to Oklahoma, or at least that's what was said to me while we were on a live stream with Cooper over at Unfair Sports. But he's taking official visits to Texas, USC. I think he's got one set up for Michigan. You do look at USC and Texas as the front runners here, and probably you would look at USC as the favorites because Texas's wide receiver room is probably going to be absolutely loaded. And I think that was probably the problem with Andrew Marsh in Oklahoma. Now, there is one wide receiver prospect that Oklahoma is probably on the outskirts looking in for, but I mean, again, you can't count anything out at this point with Emmett Jones because Emmett Jones is just that good of a recruiter, and that's going to be Caleb Cunningham. He's the 5-star wide receiver. We've talked about him before. If you can get him on campus anywhere in between now and August, I think you're feeling really good about it. But he's taken 10 unofficial visits to Ole Miss. He's taken 6 visits, including his official to Auburn, who a lot of people presume that's the leader in the recruitment and the clubhouse for Caleb Cunningham. But Florida made a surge. Tennessee got the visit. He's been to Mississippi State 4 times. Alabama, they're getting to visit this weekend. So, of course, you can't count Alabama out until Alabama decides that they want to be bad, and recruits really aren't looking at them a whole lot anymore. But Emmett Jones, he's been putting in a lot of work. You got Grayson Harris already, Elijah Thomas, Marcus Harris. You've now created a pipeline to modern day, right? OU now has roots in that high school. They might be faint roots. They might be small roots, but it's something to be able to work with. Remember, modern day actually puts out quite a few prospects every single year, prospects that Oklahoma is going to want to be involved with. So again, I want to hear from y'all. Make sure you guys are joining the discussion, jumping down in the comments below, letting me know what wide receiver you think takes the presumably last spot here at Oklahoma. And then additionally, I want to hear who you guys want to have on the podcast, whether it's a current OU commit, player, recruit. We're trying to get more people on, get you guys some more off-season content. This is what we do best. So jump in the comments, drop the name, or you can go over to Twitter, tag them in there, tell them to hop on the PG show, and we will try to get whoever that is on the show. Additionally, we're going to have, later this week, we're going to have a visitor list for the Champion Barbecue. Lamont Rogers is on campus now. We're not going to make a video on it, I don't believe. And then, but yeah, we might have some commitment news coming up here in the next week that we have to talk about. So make sure you're tuned in. Make sure you're plugged in right here on the show. And if you've made it this far and you have not already, make sure you hit that like and you hit that subscribe button.